All right. They changed everything. Configure video, advanced settings. Well, either way. Cool. All right. Let's get started here. Welcome back. If anyone ever watches this, let's figure out what film we're going to scan today. So, since last time, I got a new light bed. Take this out of the binder, set this off to the side. So, which ones do I want to do? I want to do a couple pieces today. It's kind of a thought. So, I have some of my Lomochrome purple here of Big Sur, which not necessarily a bad photo. This one is a bad photo. That was a waste of film, unfortunately, but I learned a lesson. These are from one of my best friend's weddings, so probably this one's way underexposed, and this is a double exposure, so that's kind of a loss. Let's see here. Looks like I have some Portrait 400. I have some more wedding photos. Double exposure that I was playing around with that, I don't know, that one might be fun. We might pull that one and do that one. Might be some interesting stuff in here. Let's set this one off to the side here. And looks like I have some Joshua Tree. So this is from, where is that? I think this is upside down for you guys because I can't figure out how to turn around the camera, but either way. This has to be in I think this is on top of Headstone Rock, which is out in Joshua Tree. This is over by Split Rock, and this is a picture of the moon. I think we looked at this one last week and I couldn't figure out what it was. Turn the light up here a bit. Overexpose it for you guys a little bit. Yeah, it's either the moon or a sun. So, those are fairly boring photos. This one's not terrible. We might do this one too. Set that one off to the side. This is blank. Put this back in here. Oops. No, binder hole. There we go. Here's some more Lomochrome purple. Some Portrait 400. This is Fuji RVP 100. I think this is actually from the top of Headstone Rock. That look. Yeah, this is also from top of Headstone, which is really cool rock structure that you can climb up to. Both of these are from there, the top and bottom one. I kind of like this one with the foreground. We might do that Lomochrome. And we have one more sheet here of Portrait 400s. This is from my parents' house. I think that's like a sunset that looked fairly decent. This table is squeaking so much. That's annoying as fuck. let's see if I can pull this away from the wall a little bit. Nope. Oh well. We'll survive. Maybe. I don't know. This is some sunsets from Big Sur from a few months back. It was around Christmas time or so. I don't think any of these are worth scanning at the moment. So let's pick out 2 photos here. So this one could be interesting. I kind of like it. It looks a little overexposed. Not necessarily a bad thing. Kind of want to do this one, which I think I already have one of these scanned somewhere. One of the previous versions of this. Advanced settings. I really want to flip this around. Oh no, what did I do? Location control, focus. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be what it is. I think I have this one scanned already. A different version of it. I think I took 2 of very similar photos back before I realized how expensive it was to actually shoot film. Let's see. I'm sure I have it around here somewhere. Yeah, so I have a fairly similar photo of that I've already scanned. It like almost looks like the same photo. It's really close. I think I walked a little bit further down the road, but yeah, overlaying these 2 pieces of film, they're almost the same photo. That's waste. It's unfortunate. It's a photo from my friend's wedding. This is up on top of Headstone Rock with a buddy of mine that I climb with. And then this is a better photo. I think that was the base photo here. Yeah, so this one here is the base photo of this one here. So I had that with the hood open and the background. I don't think I'm going to do that one, although it might be fun. Yeah, this one is an overlay of this and this. Well, it could be interesting, but yeah, we'll see. What else do I have here? These are scans. There's myself and my girlfriend. Here's the Overwatch League set. I think I showed you guys this last week. We're not here for old photos, we're here for unscanned ones. Let's see, anything else over here maybe? Nope, alright. And I don't have any black and white right now. I recently just got a roll of black and white. Went out shooting this morning and took a handful of photos. Which I should probably grab my camera out of my car before it gets too hot. Don't care about that one, so I'm not going to do any of these. This one could be fun just because of the type of film. So let's do... let's see. Let's do these 2 today. The double exposure of the Mustang and then this picture of Big Sur. Alright, so that has been decided. We can go over here and let's go ahead and take some time to clean up all of this. And then what do I need? I need my blower. So we'll get any dust that we see on here off. It looks like it's fairly clean still from the last time I hit it with alcohol. And then we can also check the top, which looks fine to me. I'm seeing one piece of dust right here that doesn't seem to want to go away, so actually we'll hit that with some alcohol wipes or a microfiber. Let's open up some new microfibers, and we'll go ahead and clean that up. I found a pack of 12 microfibers on Amazon for $11 or something like that. So it looks like I got it. Awesome. We can close that lid so no dust settles on it. And then we are going to go back over here. I'll pull these off and I will show you how I load the film in the scanner. But first, we need to clean everything because I don't like to waste my time with dust. So this thing is very dusty. Let's see if I can actually turn the brightness down on this thing a tad. I don't think this camera is going to pick it up. Yeah, it's hard to see it. It's pretty obvious here when I'm looking at it that this thing is covered in dust. I actually haven't scanned any film since my last video. So I'm just going to kind of do just a general wipe down. I'm seeing a few, looks like water spots almost. They're right here and right there, which you guys can't see. They're right there and right there, and try to figure out which side they're on, and then I'll hit it with some alcohol if I have to. Nope, looks like I'm able to get it off. So that side is clean. And that side is clean. And we'll go ahead and hit it with some air, just to get any last little specks of dust off. Seen a couple there. Alright. So now, I want to put on a glove. So these are lint-free gloves that I use. Got like a bag of 50 of them for a few bucks a while back. And we are going to do, well, looks like we're going to do this Lomochrome purple one first. So let's go ahead and get that out of there. So I'm actually just going to lightly push on it from this side and grab it from this side. Awesome. Alright, so I'm going to check this for dust as well. This one's a little bit harder to do. Just because I can't wipe it down with a microfiber because that will definitely scratch it if it picks up any of the dust. So we're going to try and avoid doing that. But it looks like it's fairly clean. All right. So now we're going to identify which way the letters are going. So it looks like it needs to sit in here this way. Set it in, drops into place. I'm actually going to move it over just a touch. And then we can close the lid on it. So normally I do this next part looking up, but we'll try and get it here. I'm trying to get the bottom edge here to be not covered by the frame, which it looks like it's doing fairly well. So let's go ahead and we'll move this over to the scanner now. This just gets set right on. We have these two little arrows on this scanner, and those line up to these. There's little there's little nubs on here, and then those just slide into the hole here. So this is the medium format frame. I also have a 35mm frame, which I was actually doing some of my mom's old photos from when I was growing up. I think I have some of my 2-year-old birthday here. Let's see. These were developed at Save-On. These are from our trip to Hawaii when I was, had to have been in junior high. What else do I have? Looks like another roll of Hawaii stuff, but yeah, I was scanning those off on here. You'll actually see on my previous photo was my two-year birthday. We'll pull that up when I open up Silverfast, because that was the last thing I scanned. So I guess I lied when I said I hadn't scanned anything. I haven't actually scanned any medium format since last time I made a video. I figured my parents didn't want me to share our family photos with the world. So let's get into this. Let me take off my glove and let's find this here and start up. See, properties. There we go. Cancel. Nope. Properties. Why is this not? Okay, there we go. So we will go over here. So this is actually my 2-year birthday. So we have some pictures of me being a goofball. There's my dad, my uncle, my aunt, my great-grandma. I think this is my grandma. I think this is my grandpa here. This is me. I don't know who this is. I want to say, I think I know who it is, but I haven't seen her. I think it's a like half cousin from forever and ever ago. This is me being a goofball on the stairs, blowing out a candle, eating chocolate icing. So yeah, that's a fun one. So we are going to cancel that. We're going to delete all frames. Delete all. Cool. And then we are going to set our download location to my NAS. Photos, scans, new folder, 2018. I don't know why that folder hasn't been made. Select folder. Alrighty, and then we are going to do these into PSDs. At 3200. We'll go 3200. That seems to be, you get up into these high ones, it's just ridiculous. 21 gigs for a photo is stupid. I'm not printing. That picture I showed you guys earlier of my friend's wedding, I'll actually probably scan that at 6400 or so. 'Cause I think I'm going to get that for them for their wedding, or for a wedding present. So let's go ahead and pre-scan this new sheet of film. So you can already see that has that purple hint to it. So I think the developing process when I got this done was done incorrectly. I've talked to a couple people, and I was using Sammy's cameras, and they're not the greatest when it comes to film nowadays, apparently. So I guess I kind of learned a lesson there, one way or the other. But we'll go ahead and tighten this frame up. Actually, we want to try something. Delete all. I want to see if you can find it. Find frames. All frames. Let's see how it does. Yeah, it's kind of guessing there. Delete all. We will do this by hand. I don't think 6x17 is a standard format for this. For this scanner software. Our initial look. It's actually closer to what I was expecting my other ones to look like, which is a little annoying. We can actually, let me pull up a link here to Lomochrome purple images. So this here is I just went on Google and typed Lomochrome purple. So this is kind of more what I was expecting, and I have some photos that just didn't really turn out the way I was truly expecting them to. Albums. Where is it? There it is. We can go down to wherever it is. There it is. So this is also shot on Lomochrome purple as well as this. So I was getting these purples out of it, but it's not what I was expecting. I was expecting more like more of this. This is more of the colors I was expecting to see. So I'm assuming that during the developing process they got something wrong. So this is actually really cool. I can tell right off the bat that the horizon is not level, which is kind of annoying because I'm going to have to cut this picture up a bit. But we'll be fine. Looks like you can see the Bixby Bridge right there. And then I had some light leak on the bottom of the frame, but we can crop that in Lightroom afterwards. Let's make sure we're not losing too many pixels here. Right up to the edge there, right up to the edge there. Cool. So, if you're wondering what that squeaking is, my roommate is taking a shower. Oh yeah, when you delete the frame, it changes these settings. So let's go ahead and redestined these. We'll send these back to computer. No, I want to go into backup, photos, scans, 2018, select folder. Cool. And then the Silver Fast version for Lomochrome is not up to date right now. I'm actually using a new version. Help. Info. Help about. I am now using 8.8. So I missed a few versions, which is cool because there's some new features that 8.8 0R11. Cool. Alrighty, so that's up to date. So now we are going to take this back up to the 3200 ISO, or pixels per inch, which is going to dump us about a 400 meg photo. Let's go ahead and bring some of these midtones down. So what I'm trying to do is I'm actually gonna, I found that when I underexpose the scan itself, I'm able to get a little more detail out of the highlights. And then I'm able to re-add in that that change in Lightroom afterwards. So I want to do, so there's a bunch of new things here too. So let's go ahead and set a white point. Just grab like that. And a black point about here. And a neutral point. Oh, where's the neutral color? There's the neutral-ish looking color, which is now, I don't like that. Set automatic. I do like this white point though. And we'll bring the midtones down a touch. Black point. So now we got that purple that I was looking for. It looks like it's a little oversaturated too. So we'll bring saturation down a touch. And let's go ahead and do our ISRD to try and get rid of so we're going to do an infrared scan to try and get rid of the any dust particles or anything like that on there. So see what we can find here. You can actually see the navigator here because it's a separate window, and the way I have this capturing is not normal. So this process is going to take a moment. You can actually, I'll jump you over to the scanner cam. Maybe, there it goes. I'm trying to do everything on this computer. So you can see it's just barely moving along there. So we're actually seeing some dust particles here. How far behind are you guys on stream? That's probably enough. That's really boring. So we'll cut back to this. So one of the changes they made is you can actually see down here. Let's see if I can do something stupid here and zoom it in a bunch. So you can kind of see how it's loading in the navigator now, which is really nice. So you can actually see the process. So that was a new change they made in 8.8. But that's like one of the biggest changes I noticed right off the bat. But I wasn't too well versed in the previous version of the software to truly know the difference of the two different softwares. So we'll go back here and let me reset this. I can't find all of the pieces. There we go. Cool. So we'll just have to wait for this to finish up here. We're coming along. We're about almost halfway done with it. So I'm really enjoying the whoa. I don't know what happened there. Hopefully that didn't screw it up too bad. Let's see here in a minute. Yeah, not 100% sure what's going on. So we're just going to let this run its course. We're at about halfway done right now. I'm going to go ahead and get Lightroom started up. See if we can't max this computer out completely. Oh, I'm tired. So, I was going through some old photos this weekend, or earlier this week. Some stuff from Ireland. This is the Blarney Castle, which I'm planning on going through these and picking out a handful to upload to my Flickr page, which is here. I think you can actually just go to flickr.com/Mike_Masterson, and it will take you to directly to the home page. Yeah. So this is some stuff from. I really am not happy with the edit of this, unfortunately. This is probably one of my favorite photos I've taken of Budapest. I actually got that printed out on canvas and gave it to my girlfriend as a gift. Stockholm. There's my 617. This is just the photo stream, so you're gonna see a lot of stuff that's just uploaded in chronological order. This is in Cuba. I was able to make it down there before they closed off the easy travel to Cuba. It's an interesting country. I didn't make it out of Havana. I was only there for a few days, like 5 days, and I didn't plan the trip well enough to make it out. Some stuff from Joshua Tree. As you can see, I go out there a fair amount. Where was this? Not sure where these were. How far is that scan? Is that scan coming along? We're getting close. Just trying to keep you guys interested. This is in Chicago. This is in Gdansk. This is Switzerland. Not Switzerland, sorry, Stockholm. So it sounds like that's done scanning over there. We can get the hell out of here and see how bad this is. Oh, so now it has to do the IR scan, motherfucker. Hopefully this one goes a little bit quicker. If you get to see what I see, you can see this move along very, very slowly. Unfortunately, this is not a quick process. So my last video was about an hour and a half, I think, to scan one piece of film, but I was doing a handful of other things too. So come back here. We're at about 10% now. Can actually start looking at some other stuff too here. I have my color scanned film. So this is all the film that I've already scanned up to this point. Let's see if we want to go through some of these. So these are some of the photos you're seeing on my Flickr page. This one here came out pretty well. I wouldn't mind trying to get that one scanned again now that I know a little bit more, but it's not necessarily a high priority at the moment. What's on this? Here's some of the Yosemite slacklining stuff. So this is one of those photos. This one here actually is my favorite photo I've taken so far. I was on Ektar 100. This is a shot of Half Dome vertically, which was an interesting perspective. That was before I got my 90mm, so these are all shot on 105mm. I actually have not scanned this photo. I just think it's terrible. It's chicken wings on the grill. Maybe I'll scan it one day, but I think that was the last. Yeah, that was the last shot in the roll, and I was just trying to burn film to load a new piece. Again, back before I realized how expensive this shit was. More Yosemite. So the first trip I took this on was a trip to Yosemite. I figured if I'm gonna take photos with this new camera that I don't know how to use, I may as well go to somewhere that it's really easy to shoot. This is from my friend's wedding. That actually came out really well. I wish I would have overexposed it a tad bit more, because currently it's just so dark in this tree area. So like this tree here is just so dark that I couldn't pull anything out, which is a bad habit from shooting digital. So digital, you tend to want to shoot underexposed because there's a lot of information in the shadows. And what I've been learning about film is that you don't necessarily want to shoot underexposed too much. So this is more Lomochrome purple. This was a photo I took of my parents' garden when it first started sprouting stuff. This is my buddy that I climb with on top of Headstone Rock and Joshua Tree. And this is the end of my film that I've color scanned. So this is the Lomochrome, no, this is Kodak Portra. Portra 400 and Fuji color negative C41 stuff. I still don't know enough about film to know what I'm talking about, but you can see an idea. So we're about half done with the with that scan for infrared. And over here, I have my black and white scanned. Noticed it does not have color. So this was shot on, I think, Ilford Delta Delta 400 was most of this. Yeah. I was experimenting with like sunbursts at really high f-stops. So if you're familiar with photography, if you have your aperture really tight, so this was probably like f32 or so, you'll get these starbursts that come off of it. So that is what I was messing around with there. I think it worked out all right. Here's some more stuff. So this is some logs in Yosemite. This is the sunset by my office when I was working down in Irvine. Here's our Hearthstone set. So this photo here, actually, I thought it was ruined when I took it, or when I first got it back. I thought it was going to be garbage, but it actually turned out looking really well. So this is that photo. It actually looks really good, I think. So we can go back and look at the negative. So this was the negative for it. Let's turn this down a bit. Come on. So it looked like it was a completely wasted photo, but there's actually a fair amount of information in there, and I think it came out pretty well. So I'm happy with it. Go ahead and turn this back up. So black and white is fairly easy to develop on your own, from my understanding, but I haven't shot a whole lot of it. I actually just bought my last roll. So this was another shot I did of that Hearthstone set, and this one was completely just underexposed. It was really bad. So I scanned it, and I did a pre-scan, and I didn't even bother because there's just a waste. This is another one of the starburst shots too. But that is all of the film that I've had developed so far. I have about 4 rolls that I'll get done, 16 photos on top of the 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we'll double the amount that we have available to scan here pretty soon. Let's go back to here. Cool. So this is looking really weird. I don't know why it's doing this. Come on. You can do it. There you go. So it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of, if this scans again, Okay, good. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of dust on here. So I think I'm going to be ready to go. So this is the joy of making sure everything's really clean. There's only going to be a handful of specks of dust. And it doesn't look like anything's standing out. Just like right off the bat, we can turn the detection up to way high. It looks like it's a fairly clean piece of film. So we'll drop this down. The pieces that are going to be on there are going to be pretty small. So, and then we can go ahead and do our actual scan. Let's make sure this has not changed. We'll rename this Lomochrome Big Sur. Cool. We are going out to PSD, which is a lossless codec and works very well with Photoshop and Lightroom. So go ahead and run this scan, and then let's see here. I might do one more of these. We'll see. Do that one too. Not doing any of that, not doing any of that. Where is the other one that I wanted to do? There it is. So I think we're going to do this double exposure next. Which you guys did not see. So, oops, wrong button. So we'll do this double exposure next and see if we can't make something work in Lightroom after the fact. So, so this process is going to take a minute or two. Let's see if there's anything I can come up with. Here we go. Maybe. So we're about 45 minutes in for this one piece of film. So this is why I assume it's so expensive to get film scanned when you get it developed, because it's not cheap. It's extremely time consuming for most everyone that's watching, or that's getting it done. See if there's let's see here. Do I have any tags on this? Let's try and search for so it looks like some other people are shooting with the same camera. That's a beautiful photo. Fuji 90mm 5.6 on Velvia 50. Yeah, that's a wonderful photo. Wow, where is this? This is in London, it looks like. whales. Go to Google Maps. This is off of the, whoa, scrolling like crazy. This is off the A465. This is in Wales, so I'm not looking at the right spot. So A465, so it's going to be up in this area here. Jump over to satellite. So this is how I do a lot of my, like, oh, let's figure out where I want to shoot. I'll find a lot of stuff, and I just kind of search Google Maps, and it looks like it is this river here. So I'm actually just going to follow. Seems like a lot of roads. So this is where it breaks out into deltas, unless these are feeding into lakes. Let's see, is there topographical? Very nice. So let's see here. So it looks like it's right around this area. That doesn't look like the same waterfall from the image we were looking at, though. Oh man, I wonder if this is the name of. Yes, it is. Cool. That was easier. Satellite. It's going to be covered in trees, probably. Yeah. So definitely gonna save that. I want to go. Does it do it? Come on, Google. Yeah, that's a beautiful place. It looks like they climbed down in here and shot up. That's what you get when you get wet. You get photos like that. It's also really cool. What film is this on? This is not shot on HGX 617. I don't know why they have that tag there. Looks like my camera. Velvia 50. Maybe I'll buy some Velvia 50. Seems like my own likes and doesn't look too bad. Let's save my information. Oh, it's gonna ask for two-factor. Turn this off. So you guys don't need to see that or any of my text messages. I accept the GDPR changes, sure. I have one new notification. Sam Smith is now following me. Cool. Alright, we can go back to this now. So it's cool because Verizon bought Flickr a while back, and from my understanding, they sold it off to another company just recently. Yep, there's a pretty standard photo of Yosemite on Delta 100. How do I get my photos viewed this many times? That's cool. That's a great shot. Velvia 100. What is a GND filter? Oh, crap. Okay, gradual neutral density. I have a few of those somewhere around here. I don't use it very often, but I have this. I have a 10-stop ND filter, which pretty much blocks almost all the light. So this is for daytime long exposures. And then I have a 3-stop neutral density, and I have a 3-stop grad, which I suppose I will start bringing with me to shoot now that I am shooting film. I've found that I don't even need to use these with digital. I can pretty much get away with murder shooting digital, which is kind of the reason I started shooting film. Is I'm just bored of how easy shooting digital was. I don't know what the hell happened to that picture. I believe that's Devil's Tower, right? Yeah. That's something I really want to climb a lot. This is a really low-res version of it. I really would love to climb that. There's some there's a lot of routes on this. Mostly 11s though. 10A, I can maybe do that one. Oh, there's a 7. Oh, it's a 7 with an aid 4. Blotter is my spotter. Oh, jeez. Trad aid, 550 foot, 4 pitches. Looks like some people doing it with pitons. That doesn't look terrible. Okay. Question is, are those bolts or are those cams? Those look like cams. That's a lot of gear. Oh my gosh, why do you set so much gear? I wonder if the rock quality is really bad there. Straightforward. Oh, it's because it's aid. The A3 aid. Wow. It's an A4 minus. Uh, 11, 10C, 10A, aid 2. Fractal, 10A. Well, all the routes here seem to be named after acid. Not all of them, 2 of them. Blotter, fractals. Very enjoyable climb, some cool stemming. Is this thing done processing yet? Where are we at? It's getting close. I haven't actually scanned something this large yet, so I'm wondering if the process is a little bit different now. Seems like the approach is a little rough. 10A, rated 3.5 stars. 11B, 10B. Totally wood. Set in 1972. That looks like a blast. Just stem the whole way. That's cool. That'd be a fun climb, it looks like. Where is the Devil's Tower? Devil's Tower. It's in Wyoming. I'm looking for something to do. That's a hell of a drive. How do you get there? Your location. 18.5 hours? That's not bad. Unless you go through Colorado Springs at the day of driving. Oh god. Oof. It wouldn't be the worst drive I've done. My places. Maps. So this is a route, or a trip my friend and I did. We didn't actually do this, we just continued straight on. But we did Zion. We continued up to 15. We didn't make a detour here at 2 Arches. And then we went up to Grand Tetons. So we did Grand Tetons for the night. I think, did we do Zion? I don't know if we did Zion. I can't remember. I don't think we did. I think we skipped Zion and went straight here, which was like a 14-hour drive. We did Tetons for 2 days, and then we went into Yellowstone for a week, and then we came out of Yellowstone. I think we came out this way and went across here. It made more sense. It saved us like 6 hours and a few hundred miles. So I think we exited out over on west and then came across and then went up the 90. That sounds right. And we made it up to this is, oh, I can't remember the name, Glacier National Park. So Glacier was absolutely beautiful. This is still processing. Oh my gosh. Well, the new version doesn't scan faster apparently. So we did this for a few days. I think we were there for 3 or 4 days, and then went into Canada. Went up to Banff. Oh gosh, computer's lagging so hard. We did Banff for about 4 or 5 days, and then we went up to Jasper. Did Jasper for 2 days, and then we did a big long drive. I want to say we went this way, but I think we went this way because there's nothing up here. When was this? This was 2 years ago. Maps. Close my timeline. Sure, I'm giving away too much personal information now, but that's fine. Whatever. This would have been 2 years ago. 2016 in June. I think it was right after EDC. I want to say it might have been this one. working. This was, I came home from EDC, and then I think we left on the 21st. Maybe we left on the 22nd. Yeah, so 22nd. We drove up through Vegas, and then does not look like we went to Zion. Zion is right here. So yeah, we went straight from LA to this REI where my friend forgot to bring his sleeping bag, so he had to buy a new one. And then made our way up into Grand Tetons and kind of drove around in this area. And then the next day, the 23rd, we did the loop in Yellowstone. And then we did another day in Yellowstone, and did another day in Yellowstone. And then we left Yellowstone and went up to Glacier. We actually didn't get campsites for this whole thing. We just kind of winged it because there's plenty of BLM land, so we didn't really worry too much. This area here, Bowman and Kintala, these two lakes are absolutely stunning. Let's see here. Get into library. I'm in library. Collections. 2013. Come on, collapse. 15. And 16. And it would have been Alaska road trip or Mount Rainier, Grand Tetons. Grand Tetons, maybe? Doesn't look like Grand Tetons, so Glacier. Should have been Glacier, but I might not have organized these properly. I think these are just general on the side of the road type stuff. Oh, Glacier, there it is. So Glacier is beautiful. If you can make it out to Glacier National Park, I would highly recommend it. So this is that lake that we were just looking at on maps. That is one of these two lakes. I don't remember. I want to say it's Bowman because there was a campground where we were taking those. Oops. So I actually was able to snag a photo of this guy and his kid. They had just gotten back from like 5-day camping trip. Came out pretty well. I ended up getting the photos to him about 2 months later when I finally got home. Some amazing sunrises there, just absolutely stunning. What was this shot on? This was shot on my 5D. Just sky exploding with color. Being goofballs here. Some daisies. Made sense. I just finished Electric Daisy Carnival, so I thought I'd get the regular Daisy Carnival, right? Is this done? I think I'm going to cancel this and try over and try again. Because it's now been 15 minutes or so waiting for this film to scan. Oh, let's see here. Oh, it's finished. Cool. Alright, let's go into Lightroom. Actually, let's get both of these scanned and then we can process both of them at the same time. So, let's do this. We are going to scanner. Okay. We're going to retrieve this. Cool. I can set this right here, and let me grab my glove back. So we're going to move this piece into the scanned folder. this binder here. You guys don't care about that anymore. I'm going to grab the scanned binder, and we will go ahead and place it in there. So this piece here just kind of pops out like that, and then we can grab this piece of film and slide it into the next slot on this scanned binder. Cool. And one thing I do, I don't know if anyone else does it, but I put a piece of paper in the binder on the last page, so it's easy to find the last page. So we'll go back into that in a minute when we scan this last piece for today. So again, we're going to check for dust, which it looks like some dust showed up between the last scan. And there's probably some on the bottom here. Just a touch. And then we will wipe it down one last time. Make a little something there. I always tend to blow on it with my mouth, and haven't learned that lesson enough times yet, but that is not good because you get saliva all over it. So we'll go ahead and wipe this down, blow this off. Cool. We can place this down here and grab the last piece of film for the day. Hopefully this one does not take 45 minutes also. We need the ABCs facing that way. Okay. And we'll drop this in, which just did not line up properly. So I do the glove on one hand because I'm able to get away with a little bit more handling of the negative. Well, in this case, a positive. So I tend to not do it on both fingers or both hands because I've found that I actually need to get some traction. So it's easy to grab it and push up with the finger that doesn't have anything on it, because the film is kind of sticky to some extent. So we'll go ahead and check this for a little bit of dust. It's probably clean, but can't hurt to blow it a little bit more. Looks like there's one little piece, and looks like the film actually got bent in a spot, so we'll have to deal with that. Doesn't look like we're going to do an ISRD scan, because that will probably try and cut that all out. So we'll go ahead and place this back on here. So and close the lid, and take this glove off. And this was RVP 100. So let's go ahead and do a pre-scan. So later this week, I am going to actually go out and get those rolls of film developed. I've been putting it off because I am a little broke at the moment. Oh, this is positive film, so I'm scanning in negative right now. So you're going to get that all wrong. It actually looks kind of interesting, but we're going to go into positive. Cool. There we go. And we're going to delete all. And then this is going to go to 3200 in PSD. This is MUS. How do you spell Mustang? I don't know how to spell Mustang. MUSTANG. I'm retarded. MUSTANG. DBL exposure. This is going to go into computer. Photos, scans, 2018, select folder. Cool. place. I'm not going to bother doing an ISRD on this one. I just don't care a whole lot about this photo. We'll see how it turns out. Yeah, we're just going to go straight for a scan on this one. Just kind of messed with the midtones a little bit. I was more or less paying attention to the histogram, and can't be too pleased with this photo. And again, this is moving along. Pretend like it's the mouse when you're watching the game load long ago. So yes, it is moving. The lower the PPI, the lower that you set the photo quality, or excuse me, the resolution, the faster that will go. So like when you do a pre-scan, it's scanning it at the lowest possible resolution, like 100 PPI. So like I have some photos that did that. I don't know where those are. Did I put them in here? Family scans. There we go. Mike's second birthday. You can go look through these. So, or did I delete them? I didn't. I think I deleted them. Yeah, I might delete them out of the collection though. Let's see. Yeah. So like this here is basically the resolution of a pre-scan. I just want to see, show and explore, sure. Yeah, this is 423 by 280, so it's a tiny little photo, and then the actual final version of it was almost a 4K image. So that's the difference between a pre-scan, which just gets you the idea. The edges are very soft. It's just the idea of it. Yeah, that's my grandpa. That's my father. That's me when I was 2 years old. What year was that? That would have been 1990. I was 2 years old. So there's my dad playing with my toys. Grandpa. I don't know who this is. That's my aunt. This is my out of focus birthday cake. You can see it's close to focus up there, but it is not in focus. And then in this picture, for whatever reason, I think it's just old film or something happened, and instead of it being brown chocolate cake, it looks black in this photo, which is interesting. But here's me pushing my sweet Fisher-Price lawnmower around. Out of focus again. Looks like the background's in focus. Just chilling on the stairs. That's my grandma and grandpa. About almost 30 years ago. And then we had a bird too. I think this was Pookie, I think was his name, but I barely remember Pookie. Just photos. Great grandma, aunt. Don't know who this lady is. Grandpa and grandma on the couch. Don't know who this girl is. To the point where I named the file Some Girl. I don't know who that is. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Sticking my fingers in the cake. Hope that was my piece. There's the phone on the wall. The corded phone. That was the jam back in the day. But none of you can see this because I did not put it on Lightroom. Ha! There we go. Out of focus, out of focus. I'll go back to that cake one because that was actually kind of interesting. So this was the cake, out of focus. The background is almost in focus, so I think the camera focused back here for whatever reason. But a wider shot of it shows that the cake appears to be black. Not 100% sure why that happened, but oh, scary face, fat little face. That was my really blonde hair, my Fisher Price thing there. This was a underwater camera that my parents had. I think it was a disposable underwater camera. My dad took this photo of a turtle. There's a Huma Huma Nuka Nuka Apua'a, which is the state fish of Hawaii. This was me back in the day, back when I wasn't fat from drinking all the beer. There's mom and dad, and being super cool out in the water. Way too cool for school. This was an import from one of my Big Sur photos. I actually took this out in, this was at Bass Lake a couple weekends ago. Oh, come on. I'm freaking out. It sounds like the scan is done. It's probably going to do something. We'll be good to go. Zoom out. Thank you. So this was shot at 8 seconds, 1.4, ISO 1000. The Milky Way didn't rise until like 2:30 in the morning, and I was not going to stay up that late. I ran a marathon the following day after this one with my girlfriend. This was kind of figuring out the right exposure time and creepy faces. This was trying to figure out where the Milky Way was. Let's see here. Looks like it's still going. Let's see if we can't figure out how to make something. And this was probably, what, 20 seconds or so? Yeah, 20 seconds. We'll drop the exposure, slam the whites up. Whoa, that's too much. Bring the highlights down. Oh, did that? Bring the highlights down. Why is it? So like with digital photography, you can see like this tree doesn't look like there's a whole lot of information there, but when you bring up the shadows, like there's still information there. So, and then we'll crush the blacks a tad and bring up the clarity. It's way too much. And then I don't like this yellow, so I'll pour this orange and yellow out. Most of that yellow comes from the your typical street lights and stuff. So there's some excessive magenta and purple in there on these wires. Yeah, it's an okay photo. I'm not a huge fan of it. Kind of show you how you can get away with a lot of wacky stuff using digital ND filters. So this is basically an ND filter, and you can make it longer or really narrow. Bring it out to, whoa, that's not what I wanted. Delete that. Grab this one. Like that, and then we'll bring the exposure up just to kind of dim this out a touch. And maybe rotate it to about there. So that kind of gives you a little bit idea. So like you can go in and you can really mess with photos with that. Like there's no reason to shoot with an ND filter, a physical ND filter when you're shooting digital. You can pretty much accomplish anything you want now, especially with the flexibility of shooting in RAW. So I tend to not really care for for that anymore. This is, I'm planning on doing a panoramic stitch of all of these photos here. Maybe I'll do that on the next video. But all shot at 1.4, and the only thing in focus is this log here, which is not in focus. There it is. So we'll see how that turns out. It should be kind of cool. So normally when I shoot panoramics on digital, I'll shoot a picture of my hand to indicate when I'm looking at it, and at the start and the end, so I know that these 6 photos here are the ones that I'm going to do for the thing. There's my giant belly up at the top of this fall here. There's a kind of a rainbow there. I don't know if I showed these pictures before. I think I did, but yeah. Is this thing done? It looks to be done. Finished. Cool. Alright, let's go into Lightroom, back into library, collections, travel. This is going to be Gabe's graduation. No, Gabe's wedding. Oh, well, we'll just import them and we'll find a place for them later. Alright, import. We are going to make a copy to my external hard drive. Make a second copy to, and then we are going to go into my backup. Photos. Scans. 2018. So we have our 2 there. We'll import both of those. And now we can get to work on these before we hit that magical 8.5 or hour and a half mark, where I like to stop doing this at that point. So we can go take a peek at these. I can close Silverfast now. Free up some resources. Cool. So there is our Lomochrome purple. Wow, what is this? What do you do? I hope these are boats or something, not dirt. That's dirt. Wow, that's really fucked. So this information here is just white, so I'm not going to ever get any information out of that, but we can fix those. So I'm going to reset the horizon on this photo because it doesn't look right to me. So you can grab this angle tool, and we're going to grab the horizon here, pull it to about there. That looks righter. So, and then we'll crop off the excessive I want to go a little bit wider with it. Cool. Back just a touch. That looks righter to me. Cool. So we'll go in with the spot healing tool and we'll grab these. Clean these up pretty easy, more than likely. This is frustrating. looks like there's some all over the place. Wondering if that's on the film or if that's on the, or if that's, I'm assuming it was on the film, because it was clean. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, that's just straight up on the film. That's unfortunate. I don't know what those are either, so. Could have been imperfections in the film, or it could have been from the scanning, or the development process, or it could have been stuff on my lens. So, unavoidable, unfortunately, but yeah, they're all over the place. We'll clean up these here too. Cool, cool. Oh gosh, so much. Luckily these are very much easy to do, easy to fix. I'm going to leave a lot of these ones. I don't care so much about these ones. They're not as obvious. Fit. Alright, so now we can go in and actually mess with the colors a bit more. So this is more of what I was expecting out of this Lomochrome, and I really like this. I'm going to bring the exposure down and bring the whites up. And then I'm going to do a grad filter. See, this would have been a good place for the grad filter. I would have brought it. But live and learn, and now I've learned. So you can see what it kind of does there when I over-exaggerate it. And I kind of want it to live not there. Kind of like that. I'm going to make it a little bit longer. Back up to there. Cool. And then it's too much. So we're going to be about half a stop with exposure. Cool. And then we'll bring the overall exposure up. We're going to actually go and change this one to bring it down further. Cool. I'm okay with that. Highlights down, not too much. Bring up the shadows to kind of get a little brighter and give it some more contrast there. So clarity is one that's like, you can overdo it, man. You can really overdo clarity, and you can underdo clarity. I feel like I just want to kind of give it a little bump. 1-0. That's probably enough there. And I kind of want the this purple to pop a bit more. So I'm going to get a little more vibrance, which I have a little creative ability there. I'm noticing now that there's these stripes, which, man, I don't know. The stripes just look so terrible. Let's take a look at this. We'll go back to the negative and come up with what's this? So it's actually in the negative. You can kind of see it here. You probably are not able to see it on this camera. Let me jump over here for you guys to. So you can barely see it. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me or not either. It looks like it's bad on here. Yeah, it doesn't look the greatest, which is unfortunate. settings here. Oops. Properties, configure video. So we're going to try and bump the exposure up. And we will autofocus. So you can kind of see in here, there's one, oops, there's like a little discoloration. So that could have been from the development process. That could have been just imperfections in the film. I'm not 100% sure. I do not know enough about this process to know what that is, but I now have an example of it for future if I need to do that. Let's bring the exposure back down on this to normal. Save. Okay, cool. All right, and we can go back to Lightroom now. So I'm pretty happy with the colors of this. This is really noisy. So we're going to do a little denoise here. Find a good example of it. Kind of in that area. Do some noise reduction. I'm just going to apply it to the whole thing. Just slam everything and see what happens. I'm assuming I'm not going to be happy with this, but we'll see. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I'm not happy with this darkness over here either. So we can go make a thing over here. Kind of do something like that, and we'll bring the exposure up to kind of balance this out. That's a hard feather. We'll go and about there. I'm really unhappy with this, the way this film turned out. That's unfortunate. I don't want the whites to pop a bit more. So it's a fun photo. It's a fun film. I might buy another roll of it. What happens if I do this? I don't want to do that. And then we have the dehaze tool, which is going to ruin it. Definitely makes these ripples in the film extremely obvious. And it looks like I missed a couple of the burns. I'm happy with that there. Alright, we'll do, I'm going to clean these up, and then we can go into the next photo. Oh wow, this is lagging hard. Oh, is it going to crash? Not responding. Ooh, got it. Cool. Looks like there's a couple more over here. Fairly happy with this. I do want to change the underexposed amount here. And I'm going to make this a little less obvious. Reduce the feather a touch. Bring the exposure down a touch. That looks a lot more fluid there. Cool. So yeah, there's that photo. And we can do this one, which I'm not going to spend much time on this one. I'm not a huge fan of it. But it is scanned. Crop these images, crop the sides in. Cool. I don't know. I think this image needs to be flipped. I feel like let's see here. Sure, 65. No, it might have been 67. Don't look like it's 69. I do not know enough about cars. I do want to see which way. So it looks like the Mustang logo is facing left. Ford Mustang logo. Alright, well, this one's facing right. Shit. This is from Wiki. Visit this page. Fandom. Powered by Wiki. I don't know if I can trust that. It'd be cool if I could just find. Ooh, here we go. That's not it. Oh man, 64. That looks similar to it. And the Mustang is facing left. Okay, cool. It's facing left there. Alright. Yeah, there's not much we can do here. It's plays with your head a little bit, but I can't say I'm a huge fan of this photo. Sharpen it a bit. Do a little noise reduction. Sure. Maybe the dehaze tool will add a little bit of something. Probably not. Yeah, it helped a bit. What I should have done was taken this background photo, or the car itself, like the engine, and that photo should have been taken up in the top right of this photo, so the hood act as the black for the engine to, yeah, yep, just wasn't thinking. So this photo here should have been taken as is. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if that one would have worked. Well, either way, that's the photo. I'll go ahead and throw these on my Flickr here pretty soon, but yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The audio, I think, sounded a little bit better. I'm not using my headset that has a gate built into it, so thanks for watching if anyone did, or thanks for watching if you're watching this on YouTube. But I'm going to go take a shower and have my brunch. Have a good one.